LCOY Kenya 2024.
Building generations for climate resilience.
LCOY Kenya 2024.
Building generations for climate resilience.
We have different conference of meeting. When you have the first week SBI, some items that are new. So how many items? So we are having more than 105 streams. So you should be understanding those are some like a simple thing, because you must work. What are the major decisions you can remember that has been made in COP until now you felt? Sometimes you just see people laughing when they are walking here, but deep inside they are going through it. I have belonged to the meeting, and I know one of the organization of the youth who was dedicated to support us after we finished the consultation process for SCAP. They said never and never again they will work with. They were supported to get to the SCS, some they were supported to go to COP. And it was not the ministry. Later they said so that person was very active and we was we may wish to support them for us just to endorse to say yes, continue. So that is why networking is very important. It is very fun as I talk about key decision. So sometimes you wonder why it's the same thing, but it has some consequences. One on language and two on commitment. For example, when you see the issue of awareness for loss and damage, for those who are following loss and damage, they are not agreed until today. Who should tell them? Because of one, when you do it under convention, binds everyone. When you do it under CMA, there is aware and they are not committed to do. Second, on the language. Under the convention, the language of loss and damage was addressing loss and damage. Under the Paris, it changed to 3. Either you are averting, minimize weakness, and it is being backed up as loss and damage further. It was established, but it's not operational. So it is some of the things. You are discussion under that one and you do a part of the same. If it is the review of the week under the loss and damage now, so you check what is the question, and you know in the SB the substantive from the parties. Then now we are still working on that review, where the youth questions now comes in. And this comes in because the week it has somebody a body that works on it, where climate mobility comes in. So have they been achieving their work program? Have they been working with the partners? What is the relationship between the country for contact points on loss and damage with and say no, these are not needed to address. Then you select on that one. Be in these 2 hours to review the week. And when they will be reviewing the week, they will consider you. And sometimes it's about lobbying. It's not about like you can give the statement. That's why I'm saying you have good statements, but someone to lobby. Like after this meeting, now as a country will be doing our country position the first week of October. So who among you will be in that meeting when now the adaptation team they are sitting down to review and to develop country position? You will say now you want these key areas to be there. Because if there is no one to speak on them. Yes, that is, we are agreed and we are in that role. But what will happen to the people who have been surviving under there, even where fossil fuel maybe is in the discussion and everything. Yeah, we have people who have been working there. They need to be skilled again. If those stations are going to change to be a charging station, who will get cater for that cost of reskilling these people. If we are talking about our pipeline, that will be a stranded asset community with billions of money. The level is now coming to handle the gaps. You know, we agree on some indicators very like the global in a high level. So America is talking is now they want now to work on the gaps. And that's where the youth should be coming, under the agriculture. In a work media, joint working program for solar, but now it changed to which is solar media. It is which under agriculture. So you should change the agenda. So now you should align what you're working here with an annotated agenda. But not me. I'm not climate change, or I'm not finance expert, but usually interested like to listen to their composition. So I'm not much interested. My line is purely on adaptation, loss and damage, but interest on means of implementation, which finance our countries are there. And it depends with there is no definition for climate finance. It is according to the country decision. So they have been defining this climate finance for the last 29 years until now. We are in COP29, so we have been negotiating for 29 years, but we have not gotten the accurate definition of climate finance. But maybe you can discuss
Maybe before you give up the mic, just probably tell us what is the loss and damage part.
Okay, so
I'd be interested in loss and damage. So maybe bring in finance also in that space.
So, okay, maybe before we go there, so as a country, for us, we define climate finance as any additional resources that is used to tackle matters of climate change. In this instance, when we are doing this building, it will have costed 30 million. But because we are anticipating maybe we can have sea level rise and one day it can affect this building, now we climate proof this building now. The additional cost, that is what now we refer as climate change. And in our NDC, we say it clearly, any finance that Kenya will have in terms of loan will count it as our domestic resources. That is our own definition of that kind of climate change. So on those academies, conversation that started before in convention and it came into Paris Agreement. But in the Paris Agreement, there was not even in the convention, in Paris Agreement and other tools, there was no dedicated financing that tackles the matters of loss and damage. And loss and damage comes when mitigation interventions have completely failed, adaptation interventions have completely failed. Then now we have loss and damage, and those are two things. Something can be lost, which you can recover and maybe renovate and have it. Then there is a loss component which is completely. So the conversation started, but in COP26, when the island and the houses they are so interested in that conversation, and they pushed, they have been wanting a fund dedicated purely for the loss and damage, like the way we have adaptation fund purely dedicated for adaptation matter. We have GCF that gives mitigation and adaptation, but not component of loss and damage. So we needed a dedicated financial mechanism to address matters of loss and damage. And that is when our conversation of having a fund, but it started with the dialogue that was to happen until COP30, but the fund came early. So what happened? We established a fund. Then when we established a fund, it's like the way we established the table network. Then operationalization started, and there was just a transition committee that came in place. It gave the summary on how we are going to operationalize. There is already a board, and the nomination of the board is being housed by World Bank. And now the process of operationalizing is ongoing, and that is what we will have an active. So as you have said, there is pledges for the loss and damage, but we have not agreed how much the money has been communicated to, but you have not understood that money. Mortality or consistency is another issue. So that is where but it's not for compensation, because Article 8 of Paris Agreement made it clear we will not use anything of that sort to seek for compensation. So it's just a fund on modality. We don't know if they will finance addressing, abating, or minimizing. That is something that they will unpack later.
Thank you.
Africa Climate Caravan. COP29.
Make it work for Africa.
COP29.
Make it work for Africa.
It's our time, for the time for you to fight this climate action.
I am the convener of the LCOY Kenya 2024, but I have a team of young people with me who have done an amazing job to host 5 Pre-LCOYs. This year we are the ones hosting together with another organization, but the lead organization is Fridays for Future Kenya. LCOY Kenya 2024 has brought together over 350 partners are willing to partner with us and trusting us. So the LCOY Kenya 2024, we head for thematic areas, and these thematic areas were on nature-based solutions, just transition, climate. You guys access this finance, and if not, then how do you access this finance? And the only way for you to access this finance is keeping in touch with the county government, knowing what they're doing, how this finance is used, and if it's being used, how is it being accounted for? Because at the end of that program, we want to see that you have benefited from that money. Now with the Caravan, we are saying the FLOCA program is a good thing, but issue moja, it is a loan coming from the World Bank. And when it gets here, the government gives it to the counties as a grant. So all Kenyans will chip into paying back this money. But
this is what we are calling on ahead of COP29. So one, for wealthy countries, parties of the UNFCCC, that is the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, to scale massively their efforts and be reporting climate finance on a case-to-case basis. Yes, and then PIA commit $5 trillion a year. This is less than the $7 trillion that governments spend on subsidizing the fossil fuel. Let us come together and speak the same language.
One of the key things yenye tuna demand ni kwamba youth na other marginalized groups lazima wahusishwe kwa any conversations in relation to climate change. Si wazee peke yake ndio wanaenda COP29, wanaenda wana make commitments huko wanarudi, lakini wale watu wanaumia ni vijana, especially because they make the biggest percentage of the population in this country.
As African countries, and we demand that this commitment to the next climate finance must be not political commitment only, but a common collective alignment. Also, we are demanding for a pact to accelerate ways to reimagine the international financial frameworks. For instance, we want to see a real reformation in the MDBs